TVs, car parts, and electronic cables. They all go under fire, producing toxic fumes. More and more of us are throwing away our old phones and computers. And this is where they could end up, an illegal dump site in Ghana. The amount of electronic waste, or e-waste, is now growing faster than any other waste. Alongside the legitimate waste export trade, traffickers illegally send e-waste to the developing world, benefiting organized crime. To be dumped or burnt. A city of containers, the port of Naples. It's one of several ports in Europe through which exporters send their e-waste to the developing world. This is also the front line in the battle against illegal waste traffickers. And there is intelligence that this container may not contain what it says it does.
This is destined to Africa.
Luigi Garotto is an anti-fraud investigator. He's working with Rodolfo Squotto, a customs official from Naples port. What's that?
Compressor for air conditioning or electric part of cars.
So that's electronic goods.
Electronic goods.
Exporters are required to declare what is in each container so that authorities can make sure no illegal goods are being exported. This consignment was declared as personal goods going to Africa. Clearly, they are not personal goods.
As soon as you see something like this, it's highly suspicious.
Yeah.
Because if all the stuff inside is used stuff but reusable, you don't pack like this. It can be broken.
Dealing with plastic waste and e-waste, which is 30% plastic, is a challenge, even for high-income countries, which is why they have been exporting it to the developing world. Not all exports happen legally, though. With the rise in waste produced, trafficking is on the rise too. The misdeclaration is a common method traffickers use to send waste to poor countries.
Now we know that this is not personal effects, but what we are seeing now.
And plastics, so these are all plastics.
Of course, if they are usable, maybe they will use somewhere else.
Yeah.
But part of this, they will just throw away.
Either dumped or burned.
Yeah, indeed.
So what happens to plastic and e-waste in the global south? In many cases, it ends up here. The Agbogbloshie scrapyard in Ghana's capital Accra in West Africa. Many people like Nyasera make their living selling broken up plastic to recyclers. Ooh, that's all plastic. And you're gonna break them?
Or break all.
And take them away? Right.
You go salam.
From where is it coming from?
Some day be Ghana made, some day be homemade.
But not all the waste that comes here goes to recyclers. So this is the real world of plastic waste. I'm seeing all kind of plastic waste here. A TV set, plastic bottles, plastic bags, everything. And just behind that, as you can see, smokes billowing out. They are burning some of the materials. Burning plastic in the open like this is illegal in Ghana. This site was shut down by the government in 2021. But that hasn't stopped people like Abdullah. So I feel the heat. What's going on here? What is this?
We just burning for copper.
He's extracting precious metals like copper and even gold from e-waste. In a day, how many? Maybe hundreds like this in a day?
A day. Oh, more than 200 pieces.
Hundreds, okay. Burning plastic and rubber cables is easy as they catch fire quickly.
The way we go do remove the copper.
Once he's got the copper from this car part, Abdullah will then sell it to companies, many of which export these metals to China
and put fire
and back to Europe.
to burn it.
I was really struggling with the smoke, and I was only there for a couple of hours. Habiba works at the dump every day.
Sometimes I talk for a catchma, Caribzera. Beka Cascar Pusabal, Uncle Nansham Dimazoka, Bichon. Catch on the man and took quite 70%.
Okay.
So take quite lama. It was a Malay difference 9 cedi 1 kilo comes on. So tea driver don't go to Baton.
At home, one of her daughters tells me how the toxic fumes have affected the family.
Well, the impact in health is that when you have the eye disease, when the smoke enters your eye and cause the disease, you can go blind. And the headache too, it can give you migraine or something. Yeah. And the breathing too, like it can cause heart and lung diseases. Yes.
So you have had these issues here, those who are living here, for example, your...
Yes, my mom and my sister. Yes, and my brothers who are currently in
They all have this problem?
Yes.
Right.
E-waste plastic can contain toxic chemicals. When burnt, they are released into the air, causing serious illnesses like respiratory diseases and cancer. Habiba spends almost half the money she earns at the dump on medicines to deal with conditions resulting from working there.
So that's quite a challenge. How does she manage? Is she stressed?
Sometimes you go to her website and you'll be like, oh, mommy, you have to rest, because you can see that she's really stressed out. And she'll tell you that, like, if she rests, that day will not get anything to spend. So because of that, she has to work, even though she's stressed. Yes, sometimes she's stressed, but she still continues going.
The UN estimates the illegal waste business, including e-waste, is worth $24 billion a year.
So with those kinds of profits in play, there's great incentive for organized crime activity to step in. Sending countries can sign a document with a contractor who represents that the company will properly dispose of the plastic waste. But instead of properly disposing, the company will improperly and illegally dump the waste, which then means they get to pocket the profit that they received from the sending countries.
Chasing down the criminal gangs is a constant game of cat and mouse.
Criminal groups, through the use of cryptocurrencies, launder their profits. And law enforcement needs to do more to become more tech savvy and to confront organized crime and to hit them in the wallet. And so we're helping countries to become better at following the money.
This is a plastic waste recovery facility run by an NGO. It collects more than 10 tons of plastic bottles every month and sends them to be recycled.
Hi.
Mabel.
Hi.
Mabel Laria is a campaigner with Green Africa Youth Organization. And among the piles of garbage, we find bottles from Europe, the Middle East, and even China.
So how did they end up here?
So most of the times, these plastics, these wastes that are not from here are dumped in the sea.
The UN has identified this as a new and dangerous tactic used by traffickers who can turn off the tracking beacons on their vessels.
And if they do turn up somewhere, at some point their beacon is turned on, there is right now a prediction that the containers will be empty. A business model of organized crime activity is to take shipment from well-intentioned Western countries who pay for proper disposal and then turn around and have organized crime dump them illegally into the ocean.
And this is where it ends up.
All that plastic from the sea.
David Na has been fishing in the sea for more than 10 years.
Yeah, even this size, yeah?
He says there is so much trash in the sea, sometimes a third of his catch is plastic. The plastic also damages nets and the propellers on their boats.
So these are the boat engines.
All these ones, they spoil because of the plastic inside the sea. When we go to sea, when we walking, we go see some plastic holding the propeller, tightening, spoiling, like just waste.
So when your net is damaged, when your propeller is damaged, and then you can't go fishing, how difficult is it for you?
I go borrow someone to do my net or to do my canoe. God bless, I go see, I get it, I go pay him.
If not,
if
then...
you not give me, then I dey house and I feel hungry with my child, with my wife, with my sisters and my brothers.
We approached Ghanaian customs officials and the Environment Ministry to ask how waste was allowed to illegally enter the country, but we received no response. Sam Adukumi is a retired senior government official who worked with Ghana's Department of Environment Protection Agency for 40 years. He gave me his perspective.
We have laws, we have also administrative matters that we use to actually ensure that imports and all those things are also controlled. So the government is doing a lot, but these are not enough. The implementation is the problem. Right. So the customs know about some of these systems because sincerely we have been training them, we have been giving them education, training, awareness, but then it's still not enough because the populations need to know about the dangers of these chemicals. The politics is also a lot. Governments are afraid that if you touch a group of people, they will vote against you. So they allow them to some extent.
Only 10% of all plastic is currently recycled. Global plastic pollution has already reached alarming levels, contaminating water, food, and even the cells in our bodies. E-waste is predicted to increase by more than 30% in the next 6 years. There are fears that its trafficking will spiral further. Unless the world secures a legally binding global plastic treaty expected to be signed by the end of 2024 to address uncontrolled plastic production and pollution. Until then, waste from the global rich will continue to affect some of the world's most vulnerable people.
At the end of the day, we have no choice. We actually don't want to be here. We actually don't like being here because we know the effect the smoke has on us, but we have no choice.